Good evening, everyone. For today's webinar, the topic is Data Archive plugin in the Favio Helpdesk. So, giving a little bit about the Favio Helpdesk, we started our journey 9 years back, and we have a couple of products, namely Favio Helpdesk and Favio Service Desk. So, recently we have launched the Data Archive plugin to help our clients manage their older data or the older tickets in the system. With the help of the data archive plugin, they can move the tickets from the current database to a separate database, and thus they can boost the efficiency and the speed performance of Favio. So let us start. So giving a brief introduction about our company, we have more than 9 years of expertise. We have around 50 plus employees that are working with us. We have around 400 customers spread across 100 plus countries around the world. So in this today's webinar, we will cover why archiving matters, how it boosts your system performance, how can you keep old data, set up the archive process, and the best practices for the archive. Apart from that, I would also be giving you a live demo of the ticket archive plugin in action so that we have more clarity on how the plugin works. Moving ahead, why archiving matters. So why did we introduce the plugin was that some of our clients, they had a huge chunk of tickets lying in their Favio Helpdesk, they which was causing the Favio to slow down and thus affecting the performance of the whole application. So why does it matter is, number one, as ticket volume grows, system performance can slow down. Why it happens is that whenever you are searching any ticket or you are searching for the data or performing any action on an existing ticket, the database has to go and read all the content of the database and then come up with the search result. So when the ticket volume is large, the operation becomes slower and thus the system performance can go down. So second is old resolved tickets clutter the database, basically meaning that if you have already worked upon the ticket, resolved the customer's issue, then after some time there is no practical need to keep that ticket in your system. You can keep the ticket for an archival basis, that you may want to refer it sometimes, but do not want to take any action on it, not reply, not adding a comment, etc. So in that scenario, you can take the help of this plugin, archive plugin, and you can archive the tickets into the database. The third and the fourth one are related. So whenever the database load comes down, the Favio improves in performance and it keeps the Favio fast and responsive. How does it boost system performance is that it improves the response time, reduces the query load, and speeds up the UI. Thus, it offloads inactive tickets from the live database. So in the Favio, you have the database connected with it, which we are calling the live database. And then you have the option to archive the data to a different place. So keeping the old data without the baggage means that the archive tickets are not deleted. So in any case, if you want to refer to the tickets in future, you can always back to the archive tickets and view the tickets as required. Also, you have an option where you can restore the ticket. So basically, if you need the ticket, the past ticket in future, or in the present, then you can simply restore the ticket and that will move from the archived database to the live database. So access past tickets anytime when needed, that we already covered, and maintain full data integrity without impacting performance. So when you archive the data, the performance also increases of the application, and you have full control over the data. You can restore the tickets as well, as we discussed in the first point. So coming to the data archiving process, that you can first identify the tickets. You can set up a custom rule or a condition on which the ticket will get selected for the archival process. Second is you can configure the rule in the Favio UI. Third is you can schedule. Favio gives you the option to manually archive the ticket. Also, it gives you the option where the archival happens at the backend automatically. The fourth step is transfer, where the actual transfer process happens. And the last step is the access, where you get a dedicated button in Favio to access the archive tickets. So you get the flexible storage options, whereas if you have a small count of tickets that you want to move, you can move it in the same database, meaning the server would be the same, the database would be different. The second option you can choose is if you have a large volume of data that you need to archive, you can create a separate database. It can be on the same server or another server, and you can create a separate database and move all your tickets there. So how to set up archiving in Favio? So before continuing with this, I would like to tell you that after discussing these plugins, I will also show you in the Favio Live environment how the ticket plugin is activated, how do we configure it, and how do we give access permissions for it. Setting up archiving in Favio is simple. You just have to navigate first to the admin panel where you get the data archive plugin. You choose the time frame for auto archiving. You set the location. This means you choose the database. And fourth is you save and activate the whole process. So the best practices for archiving tickets, we recommend archiving the tickets which are more than 90 days old. However, this is a time that can be vary according to organization. So some organization would like to archive more than 3 years old data. Some want to archive the 1 year old data, and so on. So the second best practice that we recommend is using a separate storage for high volume environments. So give you an example, we have a certain number of clients whose ticket volume is in thousands of tickets per day, and they once resolved, they do not necessity for keeping the ticket in the same database. However, they do not want to delete the ticket because they want it accessible at the time of any compliance related query. So what we suggest them is to create a separate database on a separate server and archive accordingly, so that all the tickets, high volume tickets from the live database, move on to the new database, thus improving the performance of the Favio. The third one is best practice is Favio runs archival scripts during off-peak hours. So what does it mean? That the data archive plugin in itself is smart. It recognizes when the system is under load, and it slows down the archival scripts. So meaning less number of tickets would be moved in the time when the Favio is running normally. So during the off-peak hours, it automatically pumps up the archival scripts so that more number of tickets are archived into the database. The fourth best practice is testing the restore function quarterly. So restoring the ticket can be necessary sometimes. I'll give you an example. A client end user might want us to reopen an old case, in this example, an old ticket. So what we can do is we can go to the archive database and we can restore the ticket. So restoring the ticket basically means moving the ticket from archive database to the live database so that you can continue working on the ticket. So now let us go back to the Favio application and let me show you how this whole data archiving process is set up and how does it work. So currently I am in the Favio Helpdesk homepage. Since I am the admin in the system, I would click on the dashboard and I'll be moving to the agent panel. So what we have done is we have enabled the archiving in this particular instance of Favio, and on the left hand side, when you click the tickets button, in the last you would be able to see the archive tickets section. Once clicked, you can be able to see all the tickets that have been archived from our live database into the archival database. If you would see here, you would see that we have around 31,000 tickets that have been archived by the system. This is the window in which you can see all the archive tickets. You can change the view, layout, etc. You can also export the tickets, and if wanted, you can also restore the ticket. So if I click on this button over here, it gives me an option to restore. I click on restore. This ticket will be moving from the archive to the live inbox. You can also search the tickets by ID or by any parameter like requester, assigned agent, department, and so on and so forth. You can also sort the tickets based upon ticket number, updated date, answered, etc. You can also do bulk actions and bulk restore. You would see the option here called as destroy a ticket. So destroying the ticket basically means deleting the ticket from archive as well as any database there is. So when we destroy the ticket gets deleted from the database and there is no way to return it back. So this is how the UI looks. Now let us go back to the admin panel where admin can set up the whole configurations and rules for the automation of the archival feature. So here, when you scroll down, there would be a plugin option. In plugin, there would be Data Archive Pro option. Just to mention here, the Data Archival plugin does not come with the Favio product license. It has to be purchased separately. So when you have activated it, you can click on the settings button right over here, and you would be shown two options here: archive within the database and archive to a remote database connection. So just reminding you again that if the ticket volume is less, you have a couple of thousands of tickets or more, you can archive within the same database. But if you have high volume of tickets, like millions of old tickets, then we would recommend you use the second option, that is archive in remote database connection. Once you have entered the database details, you can come back to the admin panel, and scrolling to the bottom, you would see data archive module activated. Database configuration is the same that we just came back from. Now we will discuss the automator. So here you can see the status is active, meaning whatever rules we have defined for the archival, they would be running. So in this section, you would see that we have three different set of options here. One is the archival rules, one is the archive destroy, and one is the archive restore. So as you can see right from over here, since this is the live portal, live Favio application, we have set up only the archival rules and not the destroy or the restore, because we had no use case for it. But I would explain you all the three different features, and you can use appropriately wherever required. So archival rules means the basis on which the ticket would be archived. So taking this example, days since inactive is greater than 120. So if the ticket is inactive for more than 120 days, it would get archived. Also, you can add additional rules. So if you want to archive a ticket of only department code, you can do that. Also, if you want the source of the ticket, then you can archive the ticket. On the top, you would see the two options: match all of the below or match any of the below. Simply means if we choose match any of the below, any of the condition is met, the ticket is archived. But if we match all of the below, it basically means that when all the three conditions are met, only then the ticket would be archived, otherwise not. Moving ahead to archive destroy. So this is an option which is given, which will automatically delete the tickets from the archive database when a certain condition is met. So for example, I'll just populate this to show you. So days since archived is greater than say 365 days. So if the ticket has been in the archive database for more than a year, I wanted to destroy the ticket. So destroy meaning to permanently delete the ticket. This can also be created for additional rules, keeping the same example. If the department is equal to support, only then it would delete the ticket, otherwise it will leave all the other tickets as is. Last option is archive restore. So basically it means that if you want, or if there is a use case that you want to restore the tickets automatically from the archival database to the live database, you can also do that. This is all about setting up the archival plugin. It's enabled, it will the tickets from archival database to the Favio. Now coming back to one more additional thing that I can show you is you can allow specific agents to be able to take actions with the tickets. So for an example, if I want this particular person to be able to view the archive tickets, I'll just click on the edit permissions option, and there are a set of permissions specific to the archive. So we have archive the tickets, restore the archive ticket, delete an archive ticket, and view archive tickets. So there can be use case where you do not want all the agents to be able to view the archive tickets, but only say the department managers or the team leads to be able to view the archive tickets. Then you can use these set of permissions to allow them to view and edit, update the archive tickets. So coming back to the presentation, we can summarize the whole thing is that in Favio, archiving boosts the speed and performance of the application. It keeps the historical tickets safe and accessible in a different location. It is easy to automate and customize the plugin rules and everything, and it scales with your business. So basically, scaling means that if your data is small but you still need to archive, you can archive it to a same database. Or if your volume is huge, you can set up a different database and transfer your tickets onto it. So this brings us to the end of the webinar. You can reach us always at faviohelpdesk.com. Let us meet for another webinar at another time, another day, with an equally interesting topic. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. Have a good day.